two topics in sports today. Major League Baseball now has instant replay for boundary calls, which are home runs, fair or foul, over the fence or not. Major League Baseball now has instant replay for boundary calls, which are home runs, fair or foul, over the fence or not. And college football starts today. I like the Texas Longhorns, but I'm also an ASU fan. But who cares? This is a Dbacks show. Hello, I'm Steven, and welcome to Dbacks, the week that was, is, and will be. The show that gives you the what with the Dbacks. Today is August 30th, and let's get rolling. On Saturday, the Dbacks took on the Marlins in their second game of the series. They beat them 7-1. Yusmeiro Petit had one of his better outings, getting the win, going 6 innings, only giving up 1 earned. The bats came alive, and Petit had his best outing ever. And on Sunday, the Diamondbacks finished their series with the Marlins. They lost 5-2. Ricky Nolasco continued his dominance over the Diamondbacks, going 7 1/3 innings, only giving up 2 earned. The offense continued to struggle versus him, and Davis had a solid outing, but it wasn't spectacular. On Monday, the Diamondbacks traveled to San Diego and took on the Padres. They lost 4-2 in the opening game. Trevor Hoffman picked up the win as John Roush gave up a walk-off home run to the Padres Garroot. On Tuesday, the Diamondbacks continued their series with the Padres. They lost 9-2. Brandon Webb struggled, getting lost, going 4 2/3 innings, giving up 6 earned, so he couldn't pick up his 20th victory. On Wednesday, the Diamondbacks finished their series, and they got swept by the Padres, which is just horrible. They lost 5-4. The D-backs couldn't hold on to a 4-run lead late. On Thursday, the Diamondbacks were off as they traveled back home to take on their rival, the Dodgers. They beat the Dodgers 9-3. Doug Davis had a solid outing, going 5 innings, only giving him 2 earned, and miscues by Nomar Garcia-Parra of the Dodgers cost them the game. The weekend review. The Diamondbacks had a record of 2-4, batting average of .221, 25 RBIs, and their pitchers had an ERA of 4.70. The NL West standings. The Diamondbacks extended the lead over the Dodgers, even though they're 2-4, because the Dodgers lost all their games. They have a 4.5 game lead over the Dodgers, 6 game lead over the Rockies, 10 game lead over the Giants, and 18 game lead over the Padres. My predictions. On Tuesday, I thought the Diamondbacks would beat the Padres, but they lost. And on Wednesday, I thought the Diamondbacks would win the series against the Padres, but they lost again. So I was 4-2, which I always am, it seems like. Player of the week. Adam Dunn for the 2nd straight week. He had a batting average of .350, which is much higher than the Diamondbacks' batting average. An on-base percentage of .500, 6 walks, and 3 RBIs. So Adam Dunn keeps getting it done. Today, the Diamondbacks take on the Dodgers, continuing their series. The Dodgers are second in the NL West behind the Diamondbacks. It will be Chad Billingsley versus Dan Herron. The Dodgers, they're batting .260, which is 8th in the NL. They have scored 555 runs, which is 13th in the NL. They're pitching, they have a 3.81 ERA, which is 2nd in the NL, and the batting average against of .253, which is 3rd in the NL. So their pitching's good, batting's bad. I think the D-backs are going to show who's boss in the NL West in this one. Reason for this, Chad Billingsley has struggled versus the Diamondbacks this season. He's 0-3 with a 7.71 ERA and a .305 batting average against. And Dan Herron has been solid in his outings versus the Dodgers. 2-1, 3.06 ERA. And finally, the Dodgers are ice cold. They've lost 8 straight games, so Diamondbacks win this one. Mail time. Who sent us mail this week? I really want a tough question. You notice how it's always the same envelope? I wonder what that means. It's from Jim. Do you like the new instant replay rules in Major League Baseball? Well, Jim, I do. Some people say that, oh, it's ruining the integrity of the game. Errors are part of it. But who wants errors? I want the calls to be right. It could affect the game, could affect the playoffs, so I might as well change it. I don't really think they should add any more instant replay for safe or outs calls or for strikes and balls. Definitely not strikes and balls. But who knows? Next week, the Diamondbacks will be taking on the Dodgers in their final game of the series on Sunday. It will be Derek Lowe versus Brandon Webb. I see a win in this one for the Diamondbacks. This is a rematch of the pitchers' duel in Hollywood, and I think the D-backs will get the sweep. Brandon Webb owns the Dodgers this season, a 1.13 ERA and a 2.22 batting average against versus them. And Derek Lowe has been good of late and solid versus the D-backs, 3.78 ERA and a 2.70 batting average against. But his offense won't get him enough support for the win. On Monday, the Diamondbacks open a series with the Cardinals. This is the first matchup between the Cardinals and the D-backs. It will be Joel Pinheiro versus Randy Johnson. Diamondbacks are going to lose this one. Joel Pinheiro has had the D-backs hitters number in their few face-offs. They have a 196 batting average versus him. And the NL MVP Albert Pujols dominates the big unit. He has a 4.12 batting average versus him and 2 home runs. And the D-backs never seem to get Randy Johnson run support, so they're going to lose. On Tuesday, the Diamondbacks continue their series with the Cardinals. It will be Adam Wainwright versus Yusmeiro Petit. I see a win in this one for the Diamondbacks. Both these pitchers have few appearances versus their opponents. Petit has had his 2 best outings of the season in his last 2 outings. He has a 2.65 ERA as a starter and hasn't given up more than 3 earned runs this season in an appearance. So the D-backs should be able to get up enough offense for him to get the win. On Wednesday, the Diamondbacks finish their series with the Cardinals. It'll be Kyle Loesch versus Doug Davis. The D-backs are going to lose this one. Loesch has been a solid starter for the Cardinals this season. He's won 13 games, lost 6, 3.89 ERA. And his last outing went 8 innings pitched and only gave up 2 earned runs. And Davis has been shaky in the month of August. He's 2-3 with a 6.83 ERA. That's pretty high. On Thursday, the Diamondbacks are off as they travel to LA to take on the Dodgers. It will be Dan Herron versus Chad Billingsley. This is a rematch of today's game, so I'm predicting the same result for the same reasons. Billingsley has struggled against the D-backs, and Herron gets the job done. Alright, time to play Guess Who. This is just like last week. He was born in Pikeville, Kentucky. He went to the University of Virginia. He is 25 years old. He is 6 foot 1 inches tall. He bats right-handed. He leads the team in RBIs. Do you know who it is? Yep, it's the Sheriff, according to Mark Grace. Mark Reynolds. Alright, injury and assorted news. Micah Owings and John Ross are day-to-day right now. Major League Baseball, as I already said, is now using instant replay for boundary calls. The Rays look like they're going to take the AL East. The White Sox now have control of the AL Central. Angels getting closer to clinching the AL West. The Mets retain their lead in the NL East. The Cubs still holding off the Brewers in the NL Central. And our D-backs have extended their lead in the NL West. Last week's answer to the trivia question. Matt Williams hit the first Grand Slam in D-backs history against the Cardinals in 1998. Today's trivia question is, who is the all-time leader in batting average in D-backs history? Please send your answers, comments, or ideas to me at dbacksshow@yahoo.com. That's all for this week's edition of D-backs, the week that was, is, and will be. Stay tuned for more episodes at 6 o'clock every Saturday for your information about the D-backs. Adios. Goodbye.